Okay, so in a previous video in the Arduino tutorial, I told you that the microcontroller pretty much helped with logic-based decisions. Because you have just a normal circuit that can, like an analog circuit that, and you see I bought some parts from Radio Shack here. It really doesn't, an analog circuit is not going to have any decision making. It's not going to, you're going to get an on and off pretty much, power this, power that. There's other components you can use to get different type of reactions, but when it comes to if this happens, do this. If say this happens, go do this, or this, or this, or this, or this, or this. That's when you get into the digital circuits. So when I say making a logic-based decision, I want to show you a couple circuits here that are going to kind of give you an example of the difference between an analog circuit and a digital circuit. Obviously, there's a lot that I could get into here, because this is pretty much what embedded electronics is analog and digital circuits, mostly digital nowadays. So I'm going to give you a couple of examples using this Arduino Micro and a LED, if you can see it there, and some switches here. Just a monetary switch right there. Momentary. Yeah, I can never say it. So I'm going to go ahead and put a couple circuits together and give you kind of an idea of the difference between an analog circuit and a circuit that has some logic-based decisions in it. So, okay, just doing some a quick display here. Had to put this circuit together real quick. Ignore the Arduino here, because all it's doing is supplying a 5-volt power and ground. VCC and ground. And this is a very simple circuit. There's no calculations or logic being done here, any type of logic decisions. So what I mean by logic decisions is if this button is pressed, do this and this. Right now, all it knows is, I push this button and I close the circuit. That's it. And you can see that, that turns on the red, turns on the blue, and that turns on the green. I can't really do much more than that. There's other things I could do if I was to put potentiometers here. I can control how much voltage is going into there. But, that would control how bright it is. But, there's really not much I can do. The next part of this video, I'm going to go ahead and do some logic, program something onto the Arduino here. And so, when I push each one of these, it's going to do something different. So I'm just kind of showing you the difference and what I meant by logic-based decisions that the Arduino can do based on your programming. So right now, all the circuit cares about is if that is open or closed. And it can't really make any other decisions, just open or closed, on or off. So that's my first example there. Now I'm going to go ahead and do just a quick program on an Arduino sketch. I'm going to upload it to the Arduino, and I'm going to show you what I mean by logic. That's going to be pretty basic, actually. So we're going to go ahead and get started with that here. Okay, so here is a circuit that includes an Arduino microcontroller that actually has to make logic decisions. Is what happens here. And you can see here, we've got the switches. I gotta move around just a little bit here. We've got the switches right there. We've got the light right there. We got the resistors for the light, resistors for the switches, and everything goes over here to the microcontroller. And just to make it so you can see the light just a little bit better, I was gonna buy some ping pong balls because I learned that as a trick from another YouTuber who does a lot of tutorials. I'll actually link a to his ping pong video here for reference. But I'm going to show you what this circuit does. This is red, blue, green, and clear. So if I press this, it adds one. It's pulsing the it's doing a pulse width module, or pulse. Yeah, it's pulsing that, so it's really dim. And that's part of the logic here. I'm telling it, okay, so now I want you to pulse it once in, I think it's 450 megahertz. Don't hold me to that, but so now, I just keep pushing that, and you can see it gets brighter and brighter and brighter and brighter and brighter and brighter and brighter until it gets to the point that it starts over. See? And then the clear button just clears it out. Now I can do the same here with the blue. And it does it until it gets the brightest it can get, and then it starts over. Same with the green. Now, with this, you can actually make all sorts of different colors. Like, I can push that for a few seconds, and push that for a few, and then we got like a purplish. We can clear that, and now we should have technically a white, but it doesn't come out that way very well. Now if I pushed all of these all the way up to their highest level, at some point in time I should just get white. But I'd have to actually look at the code to see where we are with the the different levels of the light. But so this is making a logic decision. It says, okay, is this button being pressed? Yes. Okay, so we're going to add another, because it goes from 0 to 225 for each color. And so it's going to, or 255, sorry. So what it's saying is technically, since this is a certain kind of light, is what it's saying is each time I push this button for 1 second, or for 10 milliseconds, it adds another number to that. So if I was at 0, then it's going to go to 1. But because of the type of light I have on here, I'm actually going in reverse. So 225, then I'm going down to if I press this button, it goes down to 254. 253 all the way to 0, and then it resets. So that's how that works. This is a circuit that you would need the Arduino for, because there's a program in here, which I will include a link to. There's a program inside the Arduino here, and I'll definitely include a link to that. And as what it's doing is it's making a decision based on, if I'm pushing this button, what do I do? If I push the clear button, we start over. What do I do if I push that button? What if I do if I push that button? And what happens if I'm constantly pushing the button? It's going through there in a constant rotation, a constant loop, always asking, what do I do if this or this or this happens? So that's how we get the logic-based decisions here. That's part of what the Arduino does. is it gives you the ability to program in code, if this happens, do this. If this happens, do that. If this happens, do this. So that's sort of a basic logic circuit there. And I don't know if I'm giving you the proper terminology, but this is a logic-based, it's making a logic decision. Do this, 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 or this based off if statements and, other base logic statements. So as you can see here, this is pretty simple. Just it increases the brightness of each color, and I can go in there and change the colors to get different. There's a little bit of orange, Yeah, and the light diffuser here is just meant to, like, if I take that off, it's just a little bit overwhelming and doesn't diffuse the light as well, so it's kind of what my hopes are with that. I'd like to use a ping pong ball, but I didn't want to go out and buy it. So there's that. I'll show you the code and also show you the other stuff that I said I was going to show you in the other videos.